All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for coming over. We're back on the Art of Dialogue channel, and Judge Joe Brown calls out Lizzo and Sexyy Red for being a bad influence and exposes why Diddy was raided. I hope he ain't in here trying to defend Diddy. Please, 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 no. All right. I'll leave the link to their channel in the description so you guys can check out more. We ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that feel that way when it comes to OJ, so you're not the only one. A lot of people feel like he ain't do it. But I want to ask
I
you
didn't
about the
watch
current
that
state
one.
of hip hop when it comes to females. How do you feel about Sexyy Red?
I would like to bring in one of the sisters that I know to talk about that. It's like, have you ever seen Diana Ross and the Supremes perform?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You ever seen the old film on Frida Payne perform, or Diane Carroll even more recently perform, or Billie Holiday classic? How do we get from that to somebody that's trying to look like a prostitute, talk like a prostitute, and talk so, shall we say, luridly?
I tell you, it's a lot of these, they don't leave nothing for the imagination. They just throwing it out there. That's another reason why I was saying it's very disappointing to see Megan Thee Stallion up there twerking at the rally for Kamala. I think she could have really took advantage of that being in Atlanta, you know, by just, I don't know, finding an artist that's, I don't know. I cannot stand it. You know, I feel like me in my being in my 40s, there's a lot of the youth that enjoy that stuff. But a lot of the youth is also lost. So yeah, it's a lot of people who look up to these rappers, guys and girls.
Like I said, I don't mind somebody getting your freak on, but let me tell you my perspective on that. And it doesn't have to do with Sexyy Red, it's got to do with Lizzo.
Mm.
There is a certain grandmother I'm familiar with. I've known her for years, and she was, ooh, man, that woman was drop dead gorgeous back when. She still looks good.
Pam Grier.
And her granddaughter, who's now 14, kind of takes after her. She could be a movie star type. But when the granddaughter was 11 years old, about 3 years ago, my friend called me up and said, "Would you please talk to my granddaughter?" I said, "Sure, what's the problem? Just talk to her." So my friend got her granddaughter on the line. Granddaughter had a cell phone. My friend had a cell phone. They were sitting right next to each other. It didn't work. So she said, "Hey, I'm putting it on speaker. Talk to the judge. Why were you eating half a loaf of white bread I had to stop you from eating?"
What?
She said, "Because I wanted to be beautiful." Okay, keep talking to the judge. I said, "Baby, what do you mean get beautiful? If you take after your grandmother, you'll be a beautiful woman."
What?
"Well, I wanted to be fat like Lizzo so I could be beautiful. So that's why you ate the half loaf of bread?" "Well, yeah, I always do that so I can be beautiful too." That's like, okay, you know, where is this going? And then somebody else talked to me about, could you talk to my granddaughter? You're a famous celebrity. She used to be around here, and now she's in high school hanging with these boys. I don't want her to act like Sexyy Red. She might listen to you, but she won't pay me any attention.
The beef I had with Lizzo was the way she was treating her dancers and all that. You know, that was just insane. That's what I thought he was going to talk about. She said, my daughter, she's over here eating bread just to so she can get bigger. Like I had no issues with Lizzo until that came out about what she was doing, telling her dancers they need to lose weight and boy.
You see, these things have consequences because, as we touched on earlier, we don't have any real live heroes today. Nobody telling the youth this is how you do it. Everybody is sitting out there being extreme. So when youth do what youth do, model themselves on a younger grown person, what are they modeling themselves on? In my context is I represented a lot of strippers, a lot of hoes, a lot of miscreants, and all kinds of other stuff. That's your business. But when you're out in the public and you have young people trying to emulate you,
Yeah.
that's a different thing. You've got further obligations. The French have a proverb, noblesse oblige. In other words, nobility or status has obligations. So when you become a celebrity, you've got an obligation to your fans and other people that watch you to behave in a certain fashion.
How you feel about the situation that Diddy in?
Let's say this.
Please don't defend him. Please.
Something else is going on. They didn't raid, they searched with a warrant his premises on the West Coast, right? They searched his premises on the East Coast in Florida, right? On the same property that the premises was located that they searched in Florida, he had a second mansion. They didn't touch that one. Why not? And when they walk out of there, they got a small trash bag and they have a medium-sized cardboard box. What was it they seized that would fit into those items? I have a sneaking suspicion from my background in criminal defense
Here we go.
that what they seized was some evidence that was very incriminating to other people. Now, after they seized the evidence, they had no probable cause to arrest him on any crime. He hasn't been indicted. They talked to him at an airport before he got on a private jet to fly to an island that has no extradition agreement with the United States. Have you heard anybody trying to prosecute him?
Not at all.
So what did they do? See, the feds are interesting. Who served the search warrant?
Homeland Security.
Now, what the hell do they have to do with that? That's a FBI mandate. See, Homeland Security deals with natural and man-made disasters. They deal with terrorist activity. Where does it come in to deal with sexual misconduct? That's the FBI, who came into existence to get Jack Johnson and set the foundation for the Mann Act, which was taking women across state lines for illicit purposes. They wanted to get Jack Johnson because he had a white wife and he took her with her friend girls across state lines to party. That's what they went after R. Kelly with. The Mann Act most recently. That's the FBI. So what are they investigating? Supposedly sexual misconduct? Why the hell do they have Homeland Security doing the search warrant when the FBI is just attending and watching? That's FBI business. See, the feds have this thing that when they want to cover for something, they'll say they were there serving a search warrant for something that has nothing to do with their jurisdiction. One of the ones that always makes me laugh is the FBI serves a search warrant because they're investigating somebody for what is a state crime. The FBI doesn't investigate for state crimes, they investigate for federal crimes. What they're trying to do is get evidence on somebody else and give the person they're getting it from a cover so nobody comes back on them, or they're trying to find something that hooks them up so they can coerce them into being a witness for the federal government against somebody the feds want. Now, what is the connection that you get? Some people came to these parties and maybe they got compromised, and it ain't pretty what would come out. Now, I say this in context. October 2022 or November, Fox had me up in New Jersey as the judge on a mock trial with the 3 laptops. We swore in the technician, and the Hunter laptop wasn't 1 laptop, it was 3. He downloaded the entire contents. Myself, a former New York prosecutor who was in defense work, and another former New York prosecutor who was also in defense work. One represented the defense, one represented the prosecution, and we went over it. There's a whole lot of incriminating stuff in those laptops, including emails between Biden and his son where they're talking about, did your clients look in the black box behind the vent? Did they like what they saw? Those classified documents. And also, from what I was reading, one of the things about why the classified documents weren't turned over to the archivist is because they had incriminating evidence against the Biden-Obama administration. So why turn the evidence against the crooks over to the crooks so they get control? That's the same thing also that was suggested from those laptops, that something was going on that Diddy had some information on that they wanted to get out of his hands. So why do you serve a search warrant on one of 2 houses sitting on the same lot?
What do you think Diddy should do? Do you think he should try to get out the country? Or like, what would you do if you was him?
They can get him. I don't think he's going to need to go get out of the country. I wouldn't say that. I would say no, they aren't after him. They got what they wanted, which from what I read on the laptops, the downloaded laptops, the downloads of the laptops, they wanted to get from him incriminating evidence against certain other people. And it wasn't Donald Trump.
Hey, they said that Diddy had a lot of stuff on people, and there was a lot of politicians that, were attending his parties and stuff, man. Look, it's all connected. It's all connected. And I said, this is my fear, is that nothing's going to happen with Diddy just because of what he may know. Not looking good as far as him, anything happening. Like, again, I feel that law needs to change, because what he did to Cassie, the fact that he ain't got to pay for that is insane. Like, to be able to watch a video of someone doing that and literally get 0 consequences is just mind-boggling. Bad behavior is being rewarded. I told you, man, like this new music, these new artists. I look at Sexyy Red, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion. All of them are just all in the same bubble. As far as like, what are you even talking about? They're always dancing and twerking, and I'm tired of it. Tired of seeing it. But the youngsters, they love it. They love it. But like, really sit down and listen to these songs. They're pretty much the same. And the guys ain't no better. When you come from like a violent background, to seeing all that stuff. It's like you get older, man. You don't want to see that stuff or hear about that stuff no more. Wow, this man he is talking, ain't he? All right, hey, appreciate you guys coming over and watching, man. Peace out.